Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I welcome you all for the District 120 organized Toastmaster Learning Institute session on benefits maximum from pathways. As you all know, Toastmaster Pathway Learning Experience is an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to develop your skills and help others in your club develop theirs. Pathway help you learn communication and leadership skills that you need to succeed. It gives you the opportunity to build up 300 unique competencies, 11 specialized learning paths such as dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationship, team collaboration, visionary communication. And not only that, the content is available in online so that you can learn anywhere, anytime. And not only that, Pathway provides you real world transferable skills. With all these things, today we are going to talk about what is the benefit from Pathway. So for that, I take privilege to welcome today's speaker who has completed his PhD from IITM, retired after 34 years of R&D career, almost 2 decades of his Toastmaster being a member at different times of 8 clubs across 3 countries, now member of 3 clubs in Chennai. He has been served as a division conference chair, district awards chair, district TLA chair, mentor to many Toastmasters. Personally interested in writing, music, Indology, and networking and friends. Join with me and welcome DTM Sambat Saurirajan on how to get maximum benefit from Pathway Learning Program. And I'm handing over the session to him. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, friends, from our district 120. You can start our sharing the screen.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I ready the slideshow. Okay. So benefit maximum from pathways. We have seen many training programs at different levels on pathways. A lot of them are introductory in nature. A lot of them are how to start pathways, all those things. I'm not going to concentrate on that. Assuming that many of you are good at those things, I'm going straight away a little deeper. So disclaimer says this is not an introduction to pathways. This is not designed to help choose your path, though I will touch upon this a little bit. And this does not deal with navigational issues that can be separately discussed if you want. It is best done at the club level because most navigational issues are not common between so many different people. Go to the next slide, please. Next. Okay, I'm going to do a quick review of 3 things before going into this. Okay, stop. Pathway structure, you all know, at present we have 11 paths. It is a good mixture of communication and leadership aspects. And there are ways of saying which has got more communication content, which has got more. I have myself touched upon this in some other training programs. And also Pathways claims 300 competencies, the lists are available. Competencies are small components of capability that people build in. So actually this is a recent concept. Some 30 years, 40 years back, nobody talked about competencies. We talked about competence rather than competencies, but this is a new idea. Pathways is structured on 11 paths with a good mixture of these things. The names and details will suggest what exactly you will be in when you take a particular path. Go to the next one, next slide. Here, I'm going to talk about the path structure. Each path, each of the 11 paths has got a structure. Go to the next. It has got 5 levels, 14 projects. And first 2 levels, you don't choose any of your projects. The Pathways gives the same 3 projects in level 1 and 3 out of 9 projects in level 2, depending on the path you choose. Electives are from level 3 only. From level 3, you've got some compulsory projects and some elective projects. There is a choice for you to choose from different electives. The choice actually you should make best choice depending on your own need in the particular path proficiency which you are trying to achieve. Then we say there's increasing complexity in this one as you go from level 1 to level 5. Of course, complexity is increasing because some activity levels goes up, the speech time goes up. All these things are there, as you will see as you go along doing the projects in a particular part. Go to the next slide. What is the project design? Each project, how it is designed, there is a purpose given. Most project, there is a purpose for the project and there is a purpose for the speech. These two are clearly, distinctly given also. And pre and post assessments of certain questions are given for you to assess yourself before doing this and after doing this. Then the description of the path project, and there are some tools and tables like outline, and checklists are given and resources are given in the form of tutorials, videos, PDFs, and also evaluation form, etc. And there is a study or activity in most of the projects. The projects are not just speeches. You have to study something and then after that you make a speech. You have to do some activity and after that you have to do that. So the next, please go to the next line. Next line. Yeah. Then, no, just before, previous line. Then after all this, you give a speech, which is a culmination, which is what most of your club members will see. But your evaluator and mentor will know more about what you have done. But most of the club members will see the speech, and from that they will try to understand what you have done and what you are saying. And feedback is both from evaluator and from other members if you choose. This is the overall path design. Go to the next slide. Now I say maximize your benefit. Why do I say that? There must be some reason for me to say, because the assumption will be you always try to get the best out of things. But I find, and many people agree with me on this, though we, with all good intentions, we join and do this, there are many other distractions and drawbacks we have, and also we are not able to devote enough time. And one way or another, what we try to do shortcuts, we don't try to get the best out of whatever is the project. So why I'm saying it, because not all people are making the best benefit, and not always, even some of them in some projects, they may do very well, in some other projects, they may be rushing that. So there are some different types of drawbacks in this, which affect each individual and stop him from getting the best out of all these projects. So we have to understand this so that we can benefit maximum from that. Go to the next slide. Next slide, please. See, what is the current approach? If we understand the current approach, then we will know where are the difficulties, what are stopping us from doing. First problem is project versus speech. See, in the legacy system, CC manual was mainly speeches. Each speech has had some skill, speaking skill to be developed. But in most advanced manuals, there was some situation or some condition or certain expectations. So you were not just giving a speech, you were trying to give a speech to fit all those requirements. Now, the problem about the advanced manual also was many people were just giving speeches. In one manual, there are 5 projects. The speech they give, they might not well fit the particular project they were doing because they had not deeply understood the requirement. The same problem continues in pathways. People do not understand, no, please go back. People do not understand what is the project and what is the speech. Speech is your communication to the club members based on what you have done at a particular point of time. Okay. So this difference is not clear for many people. A lot of people, when you say I'm starting my next project, they're straight away thinking about the speech they are going to make. They're not thinking about what they have to do before making the speech. Most pathways projects are equivalent to advanced manual projects in the legacy system. In fact, even better defined those advanced manual speeches. So if you understand the project and you do all the jobs, then the speech comes as a natural result from all this. Then the second problem we have is urge to finish speeches. The urge may come from your own side or from the VP education, or some slot is vacant tomorrow, will you do something? This type of situations all come up again and again. So urge to finish does not give the individual enough time to do a proper job. And many people, because of the confusion, the project and speech confusion, they simply want to get the speech done over with. So they are not really doing the good project. They don't really get the good learning out of that. And the part of this is also the fast track approach. Fast track approach is not bad per se, but it is very difficult for most people. Let us see what are the two main requirements for a fast track approach. The individual should have a lot of time, and the individual should have a lot of slots available, which means he is a member in multiple clubs. And this mentor also should be available continuously to help him in the fast track. This is not possible for most people most of the time. So the fast track approach is difficult for most people. And we lose one big thing when you go for this fast track approach. This is learning from others. When there is an attendance problem, a lot of people nowadays, they attend the club only when they have a role to play. They are a speaker, they are an evaluator, or doing a TMOD or some other role. We find the attendance of clubs which are having good membership is not up to the mark most of the time. Because people who are not having a role, they do not come. So this is very bad because you're missing a great opportunity to learn from others. Learning from others is part of your learning. And if you miss that, you cannot simply do only your project, and within that small and narrow constraint, you cannot try to learn the best. So this fast track approach and the attendance problem and urge to finish speeches, all these things are creating a very big problem in the current approach. So unless these things are clearly understood from the beginning, when we start a path and then we start planning for the path and the projects, each project, to do a thorough job when you want to do it, you should give yourself enough time. The number 2 and 3 in this slide will not allow you to get enough time. And if your attendance is not good, you will not be learning from others. See, for example, I will tell you, there was a method we followed when I did my CC in 2001 and onwards. Okay. After my icebreaker, I made a point to watch at least 2 other people do the project before I myself do it. That experience, I wanted to learn something from them before I jump into that. So this was a very good thing, and many other people were following similar ideas in those days. But this is not possible nowadays because people are not having enough time and attendance is poor. This is this process of the current approach has got a lot of wrong aspects, which is undermining our capacity and our possibility of learning the best. Go to the next slide. How to maximize benefit. Okay, this one is very simple. I'm not going to give in detail in this slide because these are going to come up later on in the future slides. The 5 main aspects I'm telling you, choosing the path, you have to do a systematic thorough approach. So you really land up with the right path for your requirement. It is not again which is the easy path. Please don't do that. Which is the best one for particularly pathways is concentrating more on career development and all such things. So you have to concentrate on that. So I will come to that later on a little bit. Then you have to study the path. You have to plan the path, how you are going to progress through that. And you have to have a systematic approach for each project you are going to do in this. And you have to make use of the mentor all the time. And towards the end of each project, even the evaluators' input also becomes very important. Go to the next slide. So this I'm not going in detail. I have done 2-3 times. I have done in this district itself a training on this separately. And outside this is also I have done the same training. So the main aspect is You have to understand yourself. That is your current strengths. Like we say in the icebreakers, know the strengths you already have. So what is your present status? You have to make a clear understanding. Then what is your future projection, where you want to be after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or towards the end of your career? Everything you can plan, but too much of a long projection is not going to be very fruitful. So up to 5 years, 10 years, you can think about it, where you are going to be. So what are your short-term and long-term goals? Identify them clearly. Once you know your strengths and these goals, then you can do a sort of gap analysis where you have to strengthen yourself. So based on that, you have to choose which path is the best to bridge the gap. In order to do that, you have to study all the paths to some extent. Okay, all this is contained in a guide I have written and I have conducted the training. Any one of you can send me email and or even by WhatsApp message giving your email, I will send you the file so that you can do that in a very systematic manner. Go to the next slide. Design your path. The path has got 5 levels. So you have to think of these first 2 levels. If you go to the path description, you will find the first 2 levels are basic, like the fundamentals and your level, knowing your own strengths and your own styles and all those things. So in this, what you have to concentrate is you have to do each project to fit the path. Because these projects, many of them, the first level, all of them, the second level, many of them, you will be repeating every time you take a new path. Recently, we got one extra free path also from Toastmasters International. Every time you will be doing icebreaker, every time you will be doing different projects. So you have to fit it to their path. Then only the proficiency of that path, towards that you will be starting to work on that. So you cannot give the same icebreaker for engaging humor and dynamic leadership and visionary communication. Certainly not. So you have to work on this. From level 3, you have got required projects or compulsory projects, you can say. And then the elective projects. You have to choose the right type of electives and you have to fit the required paths, projects again to the path. Even some of them you may be repeating in different paths. Go down. Is there something more? Next slide otherwise. Yeah, choose the best to fit your needs. Don't go for the easiest elective. Some electives will obviously look easier than something else, but which will help you to attain the proficiency you need at the end of completing your path. That should be your attitude. Go to the next slide. So plan the path's progress. You have to make a preliminary plan which you keep on fine tuning as you go along, because you cannot make a final plan till the end. So how to plan the path? You have to go through all the projects in the path list and then select your electives, preliminary selection, which you can change later on. And once you make this, these are the projects, electives I will be doing, you can have a quick discussion with your mentor also on the choice of the electives. Once you decide the specific paths you are going to take, list all the tutorials and tools available in each path quickly. You can glance and then you can find which are the forms and videos, everything. See, the tutorials are too many in pathways. In English itself, we have got more than 800 or so tutorials. Out of which, many of these tutorials are listed inside the projects. So these are a must as you go through projects. And then the project also sometimes specifies training requirements for you to go through certain things. So you have to compulsorily do all these things. So, and then you list whatever study is required in different projects, whatever activities required in. For example, some activity in level 3 may be requiring you to work for 1 month before you can make your final completion of the project, make your speech and complete it. On that day, after finishing level 2 and going to level 3, suddenly you should not realize, so I need 1 month for the next project. So from the beginning, you start planning this so that you can slot. This is a time slot every step for each project. Then plan the electives and involve the mentor in the planning. This is your rough preliminary plan, including the dates. Of course, the dates will not be perfect. Some delays will happen certainly, and a slot should be available. Once you make these dates, you can ask for tentative slots on a particular days from your VP also. Go to the next one. So doing a project, I have divided into 2 stages. Each project, 2 stages are there. Preliminary, I put something. Preliminary, first you have to open the project in your system, and you can select, go to the evaluation area where you can download the project as a PDF. The project in the TA website is a workable project where you will be actually doing the work. Without that, you cannot complete that. But you can download and save it as a PDF in your own system. So for all the projects in your path, you can do that from the beginning itself. And then when you go for each project, you have to read the whole project and read it second time if needed, and make some important notes where you have to do certain things. Individually, the notes will differ. For somebody, something will be very easy. Another aspect will be more tough. He says, I will study these, discuss with the mentor like this. So you make your notes, and then use of the videos and tutorials inside that you will have to do it. Then as you go along with each project, you have to fine tune the plan originally you made for the project, and prepare a speech outline as you are going through the study or activity, speech outline, and discuss with the mentor at every stage, including the speech outline. Okay, once you do the preliminary thing, you are sort of set for actually doing the full project on the system. Go to the next slide. Here, you have to complete the activity or study. For example, in level 2, you have got to understand your own communication style, it says. Then you have to study about communication. You have to take the questionnaire, and you have to arrive at some inferences after the questionnaire, and you have to test it yourself whether that inference is reasonable about your own personality in your own estimate. You can even ask your family members or colleagues or mentor whether that fits, so that your understanding becomes complete. Once that is done, only you can think of the speech preparation, develop the outline, and you fix a slot with the VP, and you can do the speech delivery. This is all okay. And now comes evaluation and feedback. You have to send the full project PDF and evaluation editable form to your evaluator, so that he also has got a clear idea what you are going to do. I will come to the evaluator's role later on. And feedback is from other members in the club. In the earlier system, we used to have a paper and we used to give to the individuals. They will fill about 2 lines or so about each speaker or something like this. And small bits of paper, and probably we lost them. But in the present case, Pathways system has got a provision for getting feedback from specific members of your choice and store them. It will all be stored in your profile, under your project profile. So this feedback is also interesting because it is permanently available for the future also. At the end of the path, you can go through all the feedback and evaluation before you reflect on the path. You can make your understanding complete and the proficiency you have gained. Interact with the evaluator and the mentor. Mentor, of course, you interact always. Evaluator just before the speech and during the speech and after the speech, you have to interact. Before the speech, why I will tell you, the evaluator should come to you, in fact, before the speech. I will tell about this. Once you do all these things, you have to do the project completion on the TA side. You are doing it outside, doesn't complete the process. You have to do it in the TA side. And every project, when you complete it, it will show in your profile, your educational profile. But once you complete a level, that will go to your whoever is doing the base camp management in your club, and they will approve that also. Go to the next one. Now, mentor's role is extremely important, as always. Mentor's role is very important, and unfortunately, in recent time, the mentor's role is not given adequate importance by everybody, not mentors or mentees or ESCOM, everybody. The overall level of mentoring is somewhat low. It's not our district, all over the, wherever I have seen it is like this. Some individual clubs may be better. Now our mentor pool chair, DTM Meena Jan, is taking a lot of measures to activate this and improve the situation so that mentoring becomes much more common and everybody starts benefiting that. In the mentor's role in Pathways, there is one additional hurdle because a lot of mentors who are seniors, they are very well versed with the legacy system, but not with the Pathways project. This is an opportunity for them and they have to do this. They have no choice. They have to prepare the self. They have to study each project being done by the mentee. That is the time they get immediately study the project thoroughly and then watch what the mentee is doing, how he is going about it, then so that you can keep on giving him guidance. So self-preparation and assisting in planning. That is, let us say 6 months or 8 months or 10 months it takes for completing the path. The mentee is preparing the plan, the mentor should assist. You should tell which project may take more time, it may be more difficult, what he has to do, yes, he can give guidance and assistance. Now, this will also help the mentor because the mentor can do the advanced mentoring program, 6-month guidance program, which will get him some reward also in the end. I will come to that later. So, assisting the study and activity. When each project has got an activity or study, the mentor is the only person who is always available with slightly more experience and readiness to give support and help. He should be the person, he should keep on helping the mentee in the study and activity. Because activity and study may be the first time for the mentee whenever he is doing that. But the mentor has got general background experience, probably a lot of experience in life situations and experience more in the Toastmaster situations also. With all this background, because many Pathways projects have got their somewhat parallel things in the advanced manuals earlier in the legacy system. Though not exact parallel, there's a lot of commonality in many projects. So with all those experience, the mentor will be able to assist the mentee in making a good study or good activity so that the project becomes really meaningful and purposeful. And then of course, the speech preparation and delivery. Normally, many people are thinking the mentor's role is to correct the script, proofreading the script. There are cases where one day before the speech is to be delivered, the mentor receives the script asking to review it and give his feedback. He cannot give much feedback on the last minute. Occasionally, he can stop the mentee from going ahead with that speech, but it is not going to work in most cases. I think it is always better to work ahead of time rather than in the last minute having all these pinpricks. So speech preparation and delivery is a total process. It is not writing one script. So there are several stages of drafting, 3, 4, 5 stages of drafting. The mentor has to guide the mentee to remove the weed and bring the best out of the whole thing in the speeches. Particularly in Pathways, there are some projects where it clearly states the speech should not be an account of what the person did during the project. Speech is based on the learnings and certain other results out of the activity or the study. It can be, but it cannot be just a narrative of what I did with this study. I went and filled this, I got this result, I did this. So you cannot go on narrating whatever was done during the project and make a speech. So here many mentees may be confused, they may be trapped into this type of things. So it is for the mentor with his experience to guide him properly. And of course, for the delivery, whatever presentation material or whatever speech skills which have to be used adequately, like a vocal variety or other things. So those things also the mentor can give the guidance. This is mainly about the mentor's role. Now let us come to the next slide. This is the evaluator's role. Normally, we think the evaluator comes in the last minute, just gives an evaluation and he gets lost. Actually, many of you know the oral evaluation is often quite different from the written evaluation. In the legacy system, written evaluation had many specific questions regarding the project, specific project. But in pathways, in the second page, we have got only speaking skills questionnaire where you mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that. Very good or excellent or not so good or something like this. That is about speaking skills. And where do we talk about the actual project? We are not going to talk about the generic evaluation of the speech. This generic evaluation is what is being done in evaluation contest, because evaluation contest, the evaluator doesn't know the exact official objectives of the test speaker. So he takes it as a general speech and he tries to evaluate it based on the delivery techniques, etc., etc. So that should not be the case in pathways, because the pathways, the evaluator should evaluate the project and the speech. It is not only the project, it is not only the speech. Okay, except in rare cases, the project may be only a speech. There are a few projects like this where it is mainly a speech. Like enhance your vocal variety or something, there is a project. So vocal variety is one of the speaking skills that is the main attention in the project. It happens in a few cases. But in most cases, the project evaluation should be done by the evaluator. It's not just the speech, which means the evaluator should study the project thoroughly, and he has to prepare some queries specific to the project which are beyond the generic evaluation. So to know about how we did this project, he can find answers to some of these specific queries 1 or 2 days before the speech delivery by discussing over telephone with the, so that he knows, okay, these are all the things the speaker has actually done all these things adequately, and out of the result of that, he is going to make a speech now. So one job of the evaluator is to complete the forms. There is an evaluation resource, which is the 3-page document. So the second page, as I said, the generic evaluation, speaking skills, just marking them. What happens to the first page? First page has got only 3 questions. The questions are, you excelled at something, you would like to work on something, you have to challenge yourself on something, which means something is very good already. Something is on the borderline, you have to slightly work and improve it. Something needs to be really looked at and improved. So 3 gradations of comments are there. These 3 gradations of comments for all the 14 project speeches he makes, and in 2 parts makes, means 28 projects. It is not going to be the generic speaking skills. It has to talk about the project. But now what I find, most evaluators are writing about speaking. Your vocal variety was excellent. You excelled in that. You have to work on this one. Like this, they are talking about the speech, but nothing about the project is coming. In the legacy advanced project or even in CC projects, the evaluators guideline, the questions used to talk a little bit about the specific project, that is all lost now. So the evaluator has to fill the gap and he has to give that feedback. Otherwise, the feedback about the project performance is not there. The speech only is evaluated. So this is important. And as we know, in 3 minutes, you cannot say anything. And in 2 pages, you cannot convey anything. If a good evaluator should always interact after the speech and give additional inputs to the speaker. This is very important. So let us go to the, I have got a separate evaluation in pathways up to 25 to 30 minutes module, training module. I have conducted it in 2 clubs in this district and 2 clubs in other districts also. So if somebody wants, I can pass on the material, but material passing on will not help. A 25-30 minutes thing cannot be given in some 20 slide, few lines. So if somebody is interested, they can organize in the club. I can pass on the material and more information. They can themselves conduct it also. Go to the next slide, please. Pathways bonus. Compared to legacy system, based on the experience they had around 2010, Toastmasters International started thinking a lot with a big group of senior Toastmasters. They did a lot of exercises over years and they came up with pathways. And certainly it has got many things additional to the basic approach. The basic approach was to mix communication and leadership aspects in a new way to develop proficiencies in particular directions, is they called paths. Okay. So in addition to the general approach, some bonuses have come. One of them is emphasis on evaluation. Earlier, you find there were many Toastmasters who never evaluated a speech or any project. They never did it. So somehow they didn't like it. They never started. They never did it. But in Pathways, in the project 2 in level 1, it talks about evaluation in 3 different ways. One is you give a project and get evaluation. The second project, you work on the evaluation, the feedback, and then improve your speech. The third one is you evaluate another speech and then get evaluated on your evaluation. This threefold approach is very strong. It sort of removes the reluctance or hesitation from the people to jump into this evaluation arena. Once they are ready to do it, more percentage of people will start to take up evaluation in a very serious way. So this is the emphasis on evaluation. And then the next one is mentoring development. There is a lot of emphasis. Level 2, there's a project which is compulsory in all paths called Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. And then level 3, 4, and 5 has got each one project. Combining these 4 projects, you can get an award called Toastmaster Mentoring Program Award that you have completed. The 4th project, the Advanced Toastmaster Mentoring Project, needs 6 months of working with a mentee, starting from the planning stage and continuously guiding him through every stage of the development. So which is a very strong base for developing good mentors. And if somebody completes this and gets this award, and if he also completes one path by himself, he is officially designated by Toastmaster International as a mentor. A sort of recognition which never existed. In earlier times, we can say, oh, I am a good mentor. I have mentored so many people. Only you have to tell yourself. But now Toastmaster International tells that you are a good mentor. So this is an important incentive also for the people who take to mentoring in a serious way. And then there are new areas which are not there in the legacy system because our times are changing. More of online methods have come, the blog, podcast, social media, etc. And then certain tricky areas like consensus building, emotional intelligence, negotiation, they were there to some extent in the early system, but they are better defined in good projects in the pathways. These are all really bonuses. Go to the next slide, please. Pathways mentoring, this is what I told. Level 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got these 4 projects. Prepare to mentor is a project in which there is no speech at all. You are only getting prepared, equipping yourself to become a good mentor. And the mentoring project is a one project mentoring, you take one person, one project activity and mentor him to get a sample experience. And then the advanced mentoring is a full 6-month experience. I think anybody doing advanced mentoring and going through all these 4 stages will certainly reach a very good level of proficiency as a mentor. So you get also the official designation. Then go to the next line, mentoring program award and TA designated mentor. Go to the next slide, please. DTM norms, I'm just adding this of completion. I'm not going to discuss it in detail. Like we did DTM in the legacy system, you have to do all these, complete all these norms, complete 2 learning paths. You have to be club officer for 12 months. It can be 2 6 months or 1 12 month. The 2 6 months need not be continuous. And you have to attend the OTP. You have to be a district officer for 12 months at least. You have to be a club mentor or coach, club sponsor, or speechcraft or OLP coordinator. Then there's a final project called a DTM project, which is a leadership activity with a team of people. You have to organize a team and then do some project. If you do all these things, you get a very coveted title, which is DTM. Go to the next slide. I come to a very important aspect in this. What we may miss by going through the pathways. Speaking skills were very well addressed in a systematic and sequential manner in CC manual. So anybody completing CC and observing other people doing CC project had a good idea about various speaking skills and attained a little bit of proficiency, which he can keep on improving further as he goes along. Pathways has got many of these projects, but they are scattered all along. They are not there together. For example, Icebreaker is there at the level 1, and the project 3 in level 1 is researching and presenting, which is also a CC project. Other than that, in level 1 and 2, you don't get any of those things. And level 3 onwards, you get some of them here and there, depending on which path you have taken. So you miss it. Why is that important? It is very important because communication, you are going to ultimately test yourself. The pudding test is in delivering the speeches. And delivering the speech is also part of doing every project in Pathways also, it culminates in your speech. So if you do a very good project and you do a very bad speech, nobody will know what you have done. People may actually extrapolate from your speech that you might not have done a good project work also. So doing this is very important, number 1. Number 2 reason is, without this, you cannot be a good contestant in contest. The contest is also designed to hone your skill as a communicator. If you don't develop these skills, you will not be a good contestant. Most of the newcomers who are directly into the pathways will find it tough to compete with the old timers who are well versed in the CC manual and they have experience in the past year contests also. Some of them may have an individual flair they may quickly pick up, but the majority of them will not be in that shape. So we have to do something to improve that. What can we do? I have 2 options. I have discussed some of these things with some of the leaders. One is within the club or within the area, we can form a group of freshers, let us say 15, 20 people, and we can conduct a speechcraft like module. We can have a modified speechcraft because these people are already Toastmasters. We don't have to do some of the things which you do for outside speechcraft programs. We can have a modified speechcraft program for a few weeks, every week, 2 hours or so, Zoom meeting. So at the end of that, they get a good idea about the various speaking skills. The second one is we can specially design capsules similar to the speechcraft or similar to the CC manual. And we can announce to groups under each division or area, depending on the number of newcomers in each year or each 6 months, we can form groups. In the district, maybe there can be several such activities going on within 1 6 month or 1 12 month. Without this, as a communicator, my third point, why is it important? As a communicator and a Toastmaster, when you go out, you may cut a sorry figure. So you have to be the best speaker that you can make yourself to be within the limited 2 3 years of time when you do 1 or 2 parts. So to do that, your base also should be strong. We have to go through this. So any of you district division officers, you can plan it, or individuals can ask their ESCOM or area directors to organize this so that the group in an area of 4 clubs, each club can have 5, 6, 7 people, newcomers. So they can easily form a 20-member group and we can conduct this. With this, I finish this. I have probably taken 1 minute or so extra than my 40 minutes. So any question answers, I'll be happy to answer to the extent possible for me. You can remove the sharing.
Hi, sir. Good evening. This is Shiva from CSF.
Volume is slightly low.
Sir, good evening. This is Shivashankar from CSF. Can you hear me?
Yeah, better now.
Okay, sir. Sir, you mentioned about you have some materials that you have prepared by yourself. So some of them look. I'm a fresher into my pathway. I have just completed my icebreaker. I think some of the materials which you said will be really useful. I couldn't make a note of them. Can you repeat what are those materials out of your experience?
I have a pathways primer and then insights into level 1 and level 2 of pathways, evaluation in pathways, choosing your path. These are the 4 things, because 1 or 2 I had earlier, I have remodeled them into some other these shapes now. But getting a PowerPoint presentation will not help a fresher. Maybe somebody in your club, your VP or somebody else can get it from you and conduct a program for your club. That will be more meaningful. Because as you know, PowerPoint is a few clues, like the hints and clues, only titles, few lines. You cannot make out what it is. But in the case of the choosing the path, I have written a slightly more elaborate guideline like this that can be used directly by anybody who is joining Toastmasters also. But I'm not supporting putting it in the website and forgetting it, because other people also forget it. If you are very keen, you send me an email, I will send you that material. Don't put it in public space. Actually, I'm not against it. I am not an IP or activist or something, intellectual property, nothing. But this really doesn't help. People who want, let them ask, get, make use of it.
Sure, sir.
So my email ID is samsourirajan@gmail.com, samsourirajan@gmail.com. You can get it from our district offices. DTM Lloyd will be happy to give you that.
Sure, sir. I will write to you, and maybe I'll once I interact with you, maybe we will discuss within our club with the VP Education and also the president, and probably we will take it forward as per your guidance. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir.
Yeah,
This is
sorry to interrupt. Audience, I request all the members to submit your feedback. I have shared in the chat box. Kindly request to submit your feedback. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead with the question. Sorry for that.
Hi, sir. This is Jay here from Madras Toastmasters Club. So I believe actually we have 11 paths in this pathway journey. So my question here is like, is there any path which focus more on the leadership aspects? Earlier, if you know, like in the traditional, we had CL, ALB, and ALS. So we have 11 paths. I'm not very sure. Most of them focus on the communication. But is there any path which actually look into the leadership?
No, actually, I have done it also, and I have seen even before it was rolled out in our area. I have seen in other areas some senior Toastmasters. I have been going through this much before Pathways came here, and we have an idea about it. It is also part of my Pathways primer. I am telling the leadership content and the communication content. Leadership content increases in one way from path X to path Y, the 11 paths, and the communication content goes in the opposite direction. That is there. If you write to me, I will send you that Pathways primer thing, you will find that. It is available also. There are many other people who have done it. There is no great secret. So for example, presentation mastery, just I am giving an example, and engaging humor, they have got very little leadership content.
Okay.
Whereas coaching, effective coaching and some other things have got high leadership content.
Okay.
So team collaboration is there. Some of them, so the people have defined an order in which it increases. This is not strict also, it's not a rule. You can make a slightly different order after you go through them. A rough guideline, it is available. I can send you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Mallika Nair from Trivandrum. I'm right now, I am a president of FCC Vanita Toastmasters in Qatar. Yes. My question to you is, see, in our club, as soon as a new member join, we assign a mentor to that new member. But none of them are qualified, as you said, pathway qualified mentors. So I'm also a mentor. This in Pathways, there is a separate what you call mentoring program, right, sir? I just want to know more about it. This level 4.
Okay, yeah. I already told the Pathways mentoring program has got 4 stages. I showed it in the slide also. So level 2, 3, 4, 5 has got each one project. The last project has got a 6-month mentoring activity. So if you go through that, you can gain sufficient proficiency and confidence also in mentoring. But coming to the other point, there is nothing like, because at this point of time, not many people are designated as Toastmaster mentors. It doesn't matter. A lot of us are interested, a lot of us have got experience. Even if we don't have much experience, the mentor's first thing is time availability, readiness to help, readiness to support, and readiness to develop somebody in his own way with your inputs without trying to change his style or anything. These are all the basic requirements. See, the technical know-how is not a very strong requirement. If it is there, well and good to the extent, but it is not required all the time. So you have to see that any available mentor, you have to make the best use of it. As time goes along, everybody, including the mentors, will get experience. But for new clubs and new members, you can always get mentors from other clubs, seniors from other clubs. Our mentor pool chairman, DTM Neena Jani, is already taking initiatives to facilitate this thing at each division level to find where people need mentors from which other club can do. She is already taking the initiative. The same thing can be done in Qatar also. In Qatar also, they got similar system. The buddy club system is there. Buddy club system is similar to Good Samaritan system here, where they can help.
Thank you, sir.